Russell Westbrook has been mentioned in many trade rumors this offseason since requesting a trade from the Rockets. Could the Jazz ever consider trading for the former MVP candidate?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Welcome to Opochly, and today we'll go over the possible trade scenario that sends a triple-double machine to the Utah Jazz. Make sure to hit the subscribe and like button if you would like to see more Opochly content.
Westbrook. Mark Jones, Doris Burke, Rachel Nichols will have that one for you.
Westbrook averaged 27.2 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 7 assists per game last season. He would make a great star alongside Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. With this potential trade, the Utah Jazz would be putting together a legitimate championship contender. As I mentioned in my John Wall video, a superstar point guard such as John Wall or Russell Westbrook would make a dynamic duo with star Donovan Mitchell. He would add a lot of playmaking that the Jazz lacked, and there would be a lot less concern for his injury prowess, unlike John Wall. There seem to be a lot of fans from both the Jazz and the Wizards who dislike the idea of the trade, but besides Westbrook, I don't think any true Jazz fan would mind seeing Beastbrook in a Jazz uniform. I'm not sure how Westbrook would feel about joining the team that once shouted racist insults from the stands.
A young man and his wife in the stands told me to get down on my knees like he used to. And for me, that's just completely disrespectful. To me, I think it's racial. I think it's just inappropriate.
Russell Westbrook, obviously not a choir boy in that video, yelling back at the fan. The NBA's come down on him, fining him $25,000 for his part in that incident.
He's got to be a professional. Me and him were just, it was actually kind of having fun, to be honest.
At least you thought you were having fun?
Yeah, he was smiling at one point. Russ is just F-bombing and carrying on, acting a fool down here, and everybody's getting on him. And he had, I guess, heat. I thought it was ice. I just told him, I'm like, just sit down and ice your knees, bro. And he turned to me and he's like, that's heat. And I'm like, well, you're gonna need it. And then it turned into not safe for work.
But I think the Jazz ownership did the best they could at mitigating the situation, and perhaps it was enough to show Westbrook that this is an organization with experience and has the professionalism to help, bring him into the NBA Finals.
The ban is based on excessive and derogatory verbal abuse directed at a player. The Utah Jazz will not tolerate fans who act inappropriately.
I am extremely disappointed that one of our, quote, fans conducted himself in such a way as to offend me personally, my family, our organization, the community, our players, and you as the best fans in the NBA. This should never happen. We are not a racist community. We believe some disrespect players on other teams. When that happens, I want to jump up and shout, stop.
The Rockets would still get a star point guard back with Conley, and O'Neal is a solid player on a good contract. PJ Tucker would be a great addition if they include them to send back to the Jazz, and there are reports that he's not happy with the Rockets at the moment. So let's break down this trade for both teams.
From 20, not even close, and Harden comes flying out of nowhere.
Utah is a couple pieces away for competing for an NBA Finals, and if they can get past LeBron James and the Lakers, they're going to give the West a run for their money. They played well against the Denver Nuggets, but unfortunately, they were not able to get past them, and someone like Westbrook can put them over the top. The Nuggets are still significantly more talented than the Jazz and have a lot more pieces to work with going forward, and the same goes for other teams in the West. Donovan is a top rising superstar in the league, and as the face of the franchise, he is not going to have an issue with someone like Westbrook joining the team. And in fact, he's going to be a superstar mentor for him and take a lot of pressure off of him as a player. The Jazz would still have Rudy Gobert, who would continue to be the top defensive player in the league. And Westbrook would be a massive upgrade over Conley, who for the Jazz would play decently, but not great last season.
teléfono. El contacto visual es poder, Hugo. Las mujeres te van a desear. Mira la danza del vientre. Piérdete en mi ombligo.
Ay, ¿qué tal este güey, eh?
Kind of like a Latin lover, Westbrook would provide more speed, tenacity, and passion and would fit in well with running mate Donovan Mitchell. For the Rockets, if they are forced to trade Russell Westbrook, they will need a point guard back, and Conley would be a solid player on an expiring deal. Last season, he had 14.4 points, 4.4 assists, and 3.2 rebounds as he struggled learning the Jazz's complicated coaching system. O'Neal is a solid role player that would fit in well with the Rockets and would accelerate his development and productivity with a bigger role on the Rockets. He had 6.3 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game last season. Both of those guys would come in and be able to fill in roles immediately for the Rockets. It may not be the biggest haul for Westbrook, but it would add two quality players that would keep them in contention for the playoffs if they want to continue that route before they start rebuilding. So, what Jazz trades would you like to see this year? Please let me know in the comments section. And do you think that this would be a good trade for the Jazz? If so, go ahead and tweet the Jazz front office at twitter.com. And go ahead and let me know in the comments down below as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Approachly content. Thank you.
Rubio got hot. What allowed him to get so hot there?
He made some shots. I'm going to shut that off next game, though. Guarantee that.